And welcome into In-Game Chat for Saturday. It is the 23rd of March, 2024. This is Season 18, Episode 11. And I'm Scott.
And I'm RJ.
Welcome into the show, everybody. Oh, yeah, let me do this thing real quick. Yeah, I changed it. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know. And then I've got this, whatever. It's freaking me. So there's nobody here in the building other than the two of us, and I'm the type that keeps the lights turned off in the building, other than the room that we're in because we need the lights for this.
Right.
But if I am the only one here, I keep all the lights off in the building elsewhere. There are reasons why I do that, but what it's doing right now is there is a roll of paper towels right here that you can't see. And then there is a window over on this side that goes into a different room, which has no light on, which means the glare, the reflection that I'm seeing is all of this over here. And that paper towel is just flapping in the wind. And so every time I'm looking in this direction, I see movement. I'm just like, what is that? Oh, it's the paper towel thing. In fact, you know what you should do?
Get rid of it?
You should just move the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, look. Problem solved.
I was about to ask you if you want me to take care of it now or
during
the break.
No, it's something that I should have realized before I even went into the conversation of telling you what was going on, because it's just like, well, move it. What are you talking about for? Just move it. I didn't do that. Well, now. I don't know.
Well, it's part of our charm.
Part of our charm, yeah.
Yeah, we forget stuff and we don't do
in
the
that
obvious
in
things
that pity sense. In that, oh, poor kid. That poor man. Welcome into the show. If you want to get in touch with us, our phone number is 334-272-9228. 334-272-9228. Check out every number's a score now, because I've been playing Balatro before we started the show. So I'm like, ooh, 334. I could do that in just one hand of maybe a flush, depending. High card flush. I can get 334 points. 272, not a problem. And then 9,228. Okay, with a couple of jokers maybe or something, multiplier. I could get it. Anyway, check out ingamechat.net for all the links to get in touch with us. You can find us on Twitter at ingamechat. You can also find us on Facebook there as well. You can find us on an email, everyone at ingamechat.net. That's our email, everyone, and then the @ sign, and then ingamechat.net. We are streaming right now on Twitch. If you go to twitch.tv, you can put our name in the search engine and find us. And you can watch the show live while we're doing the broadcasting here. You can also join the chat room that we got set up in there. Bama Brian's in there. Lethal Migraine. RJ, of course, is in there because he's in here. Who we got? Tarsai, maybe? I'm not sure. Drapsnat, Donk7, 8 Row, 8. Those are probably just spam things. AC Wraith is hanging out in there as well. So, hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us in the chat room so far today. And we've also got Discord up and running as well, so might as well pop in over there if you're not playing Dragon's Dogma 2, as a lot of people on my friends list are playing. Oh, my trick worked. Somebody's here. So, I keep the lights off because when they turn on, that tells me somebody's entered the building. That is my little trick. I say my little trick, whatever. Now, I can't see who has entered the building, except now I can. Hello. But yeah, that's how that works for me. Mm-hmm. Anyway, welcome into the show. RJ.
Yes.
What have you been playing?
Well, the most recent thing I've been playing is Virtua Fighter 5. I am the king of inconsistency because I cannot keep a streak going to save my life right now. So, but as always, it's the thing of what you get familiar with playing this game.
Right.
I mean, when you have I've been playing a lot more than normal. I'm almost up to 1,000 matches now. But when you're playing people who have got literally 24,000 under their belt, yeah, they pretty much know exactly what to do, when to do it. Yeah. And I'm still figuring that out. Wow. So it's going to be a while before I get some consistency done in that game. But the key is to keep playing. That's what you have to do in games like that.
I say wow, and then I go back and think of all the things you probably did in Destiny over the 10-year period you played it.
Yeah, you know exactly what to do in every area of the game.
Yeah, and so getting up to how many? 24,000?
The player I was up against had 24,000 matches under their belt. Yeah, so they knew it was coming. They're pretty familiar, much more familiar with that matchup than I was.
Yeah, so, Virtua Fighter, what was it?
5.
Okay.
Ultimate Showdown.
How old is that game?
It's years old, but
gotta be right. Yeah,
but the most recent iteration was put out on the PS4 and PS5. So yeah, I'm having a good time with that. See, other than that, Balatro, same as you.
Right.
Have not won a game yet. Got to level 5 on the ante, but I lost to the boss that we were talking about before the show started, the Needle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could not get through that one because you only have one hand to beat the Needle instead of the three or four that you're normally used to.
The Needle is, you get one hand to play, that is it. And you've got to score, hopefully you score whatever you have to score or above it in that one hand. And it's one of those, like I for the most part, I look at what is that boss blind. Every time a new boss blind hits, I am taking a look at what is coming up. And is this a boss blind where I need to aim for the shop where I can get something to change that, or I can do something to kind of negate whatever the thing is.
Yeah, like Luchador.
Yeah,
Luchador is starting to become one of my favorite Joker cards right now.
I've had him before. Now I have picked up, and I don't remember the name of it. It's a legendary Joker that disables the boss blind. Not one time, not whatever. As long as you hold that Joker, the boss blind is disabled.
Oh.
And I can't remember the name of it, but it's a legendary Joker.
I don't think I've had that one then.
Yeah, you may not have had that one come up yet. You know what?
What you got?
Well, I mean, I got the thing here. I was playing it. I can look at the Joker cards that I've unlocked, and I can tell you the name of it.
Is it one of the refractor type of looking cards?
No, I don't think it's that, or I don't think it has that. So,
yeah,
you can hear all this stuff going on. I will look at that because we are going to talk Balatro here. But what else have you played?
The other thing I've been playing was Grand Theft Auto Online. I was doing the Cluck and Bell raid repeatedly this week because you do it to get yourself about 500,000 every run. So that's pretty good to build up your resources and everything. And one of the best things about it is you don't have to buy a shop or a store or anything to participate in it.
Oh, okay.
Usually everything that makes money in this game, you got to buy something worth maybe $2 to $6 million before you can in-game currency before you can even start making a profit off of it. So having this raid available negates that, and it doesn't take too much time to go through the entire raid and setup to get 500,000, and you can do that multiple times in one good sitting and get your cash up, in-game cash up. I mean, the first thing it's like any theft or heist in the game, you have to set it all up, and first thing you have to do is acquire funds. So, robbing a money laundering operation is the first thing. Then you have to get info on the place that you're hitting. So you have to steal a laptop and you steal a hacking device. And then you have to steal a train.
I really
all
like
in one setup. Really,
Yeah, that reminds me, those missions are in the game itself, but it reminds me, and I kind of miss that, and it'll be interesting whenever 6 launches where you can start doing that again, where it's like, it's not just go here and do this, it is like, no, you got to prep for this heist.
Yeah.
It is not a, hey, go rob the bank and take the money, whatever the case may be. Go do the heist.
Yeah.
It is, okay, go talk to this guy and recruit him into your team. He's going to be a guy who's going to be able to get you, some drivers for your getaway car or something like that. Then you need to go and, recruit this guy who can get into their security system and whatever. It's really, really cool. And it's kind of something that I haven't played Payday in a long time. But Payday was all about heists. But it was co-op heisting and stuff like that. I wish that there was a way, not only that you could, not about recruiting, but of course it's your team. And if you take one of your guys, and maybe this is how it works. God, it's been forever since I played it, but you take one of your guys and he puts all of his skill points into hacking or something like that. This guy puts all of his skill points into, obviously you don't drive in Payday, but some other sort of, stealth or disguise or something. I don't know. Just a bunch of different aspects of it so that when you go do your heist, you have a better probability of succeeding with it because you've got this guy who's leveled up in the ability to take control of the security system, this guy who's leveled up himself to be more of a disguise guy who can go in as a security guard or something like that. Or you get a guy or you get somebody who is leveled up to where, I don't know, they some other advantage, and I have no idea which one.
Yeah, it's like everybody that you have has a certain role to play, and the better they do it, the better your chance.
Yeah. And I like that about GTA. I like that they've always done it that way, where it's like, no, you don't just go do this. You got to go and get the materials, the supplies. You got to get the people that you need to pull the thing off. Then you can go attempt.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So after that second setup, you have to get your equipment.
Right.
But there are 3 factions in the game: a street gang, a heist crew, and a militia. So you have to pick and choose which one you want. Of course, the militia is going to have the better weapons. The street gang is going to be more about stealth, and the heist crew, I believe, is going to be like middle of the road in both aspects. The problem is whichever group you hit, they're going to be pursuing you the rest of the setup missions.
Right.
So determine who you want chasing you. Either you want drive-bys on the street, an attack chopper following you, or a bunch of militia guys in armored vehicles chasing you throughout the thing. So pick your poison, either way, because they're going to be with you the entire time you're setting this thing up. After that, so after you get your gear, you get your getaway vehicle. And the same aspect applies. The same 3 factions are there. Now you have to pick, do you want to hit the same group again? Because the first group you hit is going to be on high alert. So they're going to be ready and waiting for anybody coming this way. So you might want to pick a different group to go. But in my case, there were some cases where I had to hit the same group twice because, one, they were easiest to get to. And if you want to stealth the mission at the end, they have the best supplies to do that.
And you get bonuses, I guess, for,
Well, there's a bonus for hitting all the groups at the same time during the setup. You can get all the gear, all the vehicles and everything like that. And after you set that, after you get the equipment, the cash, and the information ready, now you have to do a preliminary strike on the cartel's warehouse at Cluck and Bell. So you do that mission, then you do the finale. And depending on how well you do that last setup mission determines how ready the actual facility is that you go in for the finale.
Yeah.
So if you can stealth that, it's pretty easy. If not, everybody's going to be on high alert and makes it that much tougher. But if you do everything right and get it through there, about a little under an hour, you can get you $500,000, and you can just lather, rinse, repeat.
You can repeat those missions.
You can repeat the raid mission over and over again.
Cool.
All you got to do is just meet your contact at the police station. There you go. And like I said, the best thing about it, you don't have to buy a $2 to $6 million property to start it.
Right.
Just get the phone call and go.
What else? Anything else you played?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's
Those
it?
3.
I finished up Scorn last week. Last Sunday, I finished up Scorn. It's a quick game whenever you use the cheats. Scorn's a beautiful looking game, as drab as it is, and by drab I just mean it is visually it's amazing looking, but aesthetically it is very. It's a big downer. It is very much just a you know.
I think it's say beautifully depressing.
It's bleak and yeah, exactly. But it's beautiful. And it gets weird a lot of times in that game. Extremely weird a lot of times in the game. But its core, and I would say the main part of that game is the puzzles. It is a linear puzzle. You know, you walk into a room, you figure out what you have to do to move machines and to make things happen so that you can move into the next space. That's really all it is. They threw some combat in there for some stupid reason, I guess to shake things up, and I was having none of it. So I turned on my cheats that said, you know, I don't care about the combat. You know, just give me. That's fine. Give me unlimited weapons, and one-hit kills are even better. Mm-hmm. So I don't have to. So as soon as I see you, boom, get out of my way. I'm solving a puzzle here. Stop bothering me. Yeah. That was my main thing. Was like, I just don't want things to bother me while I'm trying to solve this thing. The other problem, one of the biggest problems that I have with it is, and maybe this is factored into how it plays, but it's really hard to tell where you are at times. It's very, very, I don't want to say cavernous, but some of the levels that you're in feel big, multi-layered, like there's, you know, this floor, you know, three floors, something like that, 2 to 3 floors at a time, and very vast as far as the space you can go to. And one corner of the room looks like another corner of the room. So it's very hard to tell, like, which way, where am I? Have I been this way before? There's no map.
I was about to ask. There's no map.
Yeah.
So it's not like that situation. What was it? Jedi Order.
Yeah.
Like multi-tiered floors. There's no telling. It's hard to tell where you're at.
Right.
Even with the map.
That was with the map, and there were times it was difficult. This has no map whatsoever, and so you really had to figure everything out yourself. And I'm okay with that. Not a long game at all. Mm-hmm. It really, really isn't. And I enjoyed it, but there were aspects of it that I would not have had the patience for if I didn't have the cheats, and that was the combat, but more importantly, the movement. And I talked about this last week, was the fact that you move so slow. Luckily, there's a cheat that can increase my movement speed, and so then I can zip around. But you move real slow, and I'm sure they implemented that either to fit the aesthetic of what they were doing, because you play a person who is caught up in this thing, who has been, look, your guy has gone through a ton. There's a point at which you can see your character. Your conscious has moved into some other body, and you can look back and you can see this other mechanical thing holding your body. Your body's been through a lot. A lot. And yeah, there is no happy ending in that game. The happiness is that you completed it, but there is no happy ending to that game. And it's fine. I got it free on Humble Bundle, and I was fine with that. What else did I play? I fired up Stardew Valley. They had a big update, the 1.6 update on Stardew Valley, which there's a ton to go over in that thing. But I fired that up. I have not done anything with it. I think the last time I played it was 2016 or something. I can't remember. I have a thing in there, and the saves stayed on there. Although it's not on the cloud, so when I load it up on the deck, it's like you start new game because I have no saves. So I'm not sure what that is, but it's saved on my home PC. And in fact, I played some of it this morning to try and see if that would upload to the cloud, but it's not there on the cloud for some reason. So I'll have to go and look and see how I can do that. And then of course I've played Balatro. One other thing, I have started and I'm continuing, and I'm very early into Talos Principle 2.
Okay.
The game started just like the demo did, so I rushed through that part because I knew exactly what I was doing from the demo. And once I got into the big city, New Jerusalem is what it's called. Once I got in there, the demo had you talk at this meeting, and then immediately get on a train and go to a new location and start solving puzzles. In this one, you do that, and then the train waits for you to go and start solving puzzles, but it also says you can explore New Jerusalem as you like, and so that's what I'm currently doing. New Jerusalem, big place, and I have one more building to explore. They don't really take very long, but because I go into every single nook and cranny of everything on these things, it's taken me a minute to just do the exploration part. But I have one more building to look at to kind of go through and just talk to some people, and then I can get on the train and go do my stuff. So, which I'll probably do tomorrow. Other than that, it has been Belatra. You haven't picked up MLB The Show, have you?
No, not yet.
Okay, because Lethal Migraine said some good things about it. The card you were talking about is a Joker. It is on the very last page of Jokers, page 10 out of 10, which each page holds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Each page holds 15 Jokers. Yep. And so on page 10, the next to last one is the one you're talking about, or the one we were talking about, which is the Chicot, maybe? I'm not sure. CHICOT. God, my eyes. Disables effect of every boss blind.
Okay.
Which is fantastic to have. But I am still behind on my Jokers. I still have a bunch that I have not even unlocked, much less discovered. So yeah, I'm currently go back again. Am I currently playing? Yeah. I'm currently on round 5, and I'm on ante 3 out of 8 right now. So not great. Still doing the red deck, and I still have not beaten a single deck in the game.
Yeah. What was the last deck you got unlocked?
Whatever you've got. The
last one I got was black.
I think that's it. I don't think you can unlock any more until you start beating decks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've got it here. I can show you.
No, I have that for a while then. Because like I said, we're trying to get through the red deck before anything else first.
Let me see here. Well, I'd have to do another run if I did this, and I don't want to do that. So I'm not sure. Let's see, collection decks. There we go. Red, blue, yellow, green, and black. That's it. That's all I've got unlocked. Yeah, and there's a ton more, but that's all I have so far.
Yeah.
Was running good. Was doing great. Played it a little bit this week. I just sit there in bed and play a little bit of it, and then I would stop and say, I'll pick it up later. I picked it up this morning, and I got into I was at the 7th ante, and I was going for finishing that, and I had something that would let me change the boss blind, and it was set to have the hand played plus the multiplier on top of it. So whatever your hand was played, whatever your score was, or it would not the score, it would take the hand that you played. So let's say I played a straight. Well, a straight, depending on where I had leveled it up at, gives you a certain amount of points flat before it starts counting the cards. Because you played a straight, you get 100 points. Also, because you played a straight, you get a multiplier of like 4. And that's before your jokers hit and before all your other stuff hits.
Yeah.
But what it does is as soon as it puts that base scoring down, it cuts that in half. So it drops to 50 points and 2 multiplier, whatever that may be. And then it does that. And I thought, well, I got to get to 70,000 on this thing, this big blind, and it's round 7 of 8. In my brain, I'm thinking that's the final big blind because then it'll switch to 8-8, and I guess I'm done. That's not it. And so I re-rolled it, and it was the Psychic, which is must play 5 cards. I have no problem playing 5 cards. 5 cards is not an issue for me. So, and I got through it, no problem. Went into 8-8. I'm like, all right, I made it to the last one. All I got to do is beat 3 blinds. And I can't remember the jokers that I had. I had the one that gives you +4 on every heart that you play. And I had one that gives you...
The lustful joker?
I don't know. I mean, again, I could pull that out and tell you, but I don't remember which one.
If it's the pink one with the hearts in the background.
Yeah. There's the four suit cards.
I think it's the lustful joker. It's
so
one for the hearts.
I had the heart one, and I had the
spade or club.
Spade or the club. I can't remember. I think it was the spade. It was the. Either way, it was the spade or the club.
Joker that amplifies the spade suit. Yeah.
It was one of those. I also had a joker in there that said every heart and diamond can be used together for flushes, and every spade and club can be used together as flushes, which really, really helped to kind of get those scores up. Mm-hmm. And then I can't remember what some of the other joker cards I had in there, but I wasn't able to beat the second boss blind of the last ante, and I got really, really close, but no cigar there, unfortunately.
So another one of Jimbo's insults, and start over again.
Yeah. Yep, and then that's it. That was me starting over. So, speaking of starting over, we're going to start off the next segment after this break here, and we'll talk about some of the news that happened. We have a lot on the table as well. Are you picking up MLB The Show at all? Is that the thing you're looking at?
Something later on down the line, but I think it would be better on a PS5 because you can create.
There's
right. Can't you,
features on the 5 that aren't on the 4?
Well, it was that case last year.
Oh, really?
Creating stadiums and things like that.
You could only do that on the 5?
Yes, you couldn't do it on the 4. You couldn't find that feature anywhere. And they said, it's only on the 5.
That's strange, but I mean, I don't know.
It's not surprising.
I'm not sure if that's supposed to be strange or not. We got plenty of news to talk about, and someone I haven't talked to in a long time I spoke with this week, and it was really great. And I'm going to tell you all about that coming up here on In-Game Chat. Got music from Terminator Dark Fate Defiance. I don't know I think this is one of the level tracks or something. I didn't have a track listing for this one, but we'll be back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. And welcome back to In-Game Chat. Music here from Penny's Big Breakaway. Name of that track is called Jigs Up. Penny's Big Breakaway made by, and I don't know the name of the studio, but it's the folks that made Sonic Mania, I believe. Is it Sonic Mania or, yeah.
Sonic Mania, Head Cannon,
yes.
Games, Pagoda West.
Something like that, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is that game. Pretty good platformer from what I understand. It's got some good ratings.
Christian Whitehead. That's Evening Star, the developers.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Are they the ones who made Sonic Mania?
Yeah, Christian Whitehead was involved.
Okay, wanted to make sure. Okay, maybe it's not the developers, but maybe it's that one guy who helped in development, I guess. I'm not sure.
T. Lopez was in there, okay. Composers, yeah.
Yeah,
He
no.
composed,
It's
Sonic Mania as well.
Exactly. I was going to say.
Did a really good job on that one, Sonic Mania, yeah.
That's why I'm surprised you haven't been looking into that Penny's Big Breakaway thing. The Sonic fan that you are. I mean, it's not Sonic, but still.
Haven't heard of it.
Yeah, it only recently came out. Earlier this month, I believe. Excuse me. By the way, we're talking about Balatro, and apparently we're going to get a mobile version of it.
Yeah, we were talking about that. How it would. How's that going to work on the standard smartphone? Because you're not going to. I wouldn't think you'd be able to play that thing unless you're in landscape.
Yeah, let's see. Publisher PlayStack announced the port during a Reddit Ask Me Anything over the weekend, although it didn't have any more details on the potential release window. In a recap thread on the Balatro subreddit, it was confirmed that the developer, Local Funk is his name, would be working on the mobile ports. The game has already sold 1 million copies. I think it's gotten more than that as well. PlayStack confirmed it is looking into official merch for the game, including card decks that match what you might unlock in the game. That's kind of cool. They also announced a daily challenge mode is in the works. That would be kind of cool, or rather that it's in the cards. Let's see. I'm just reading this. He doesn't think the developer does not think that there will be more mechanics added over time, although there might be more options, more opportunities for emergence, more secrets. Oh, they have I need to go back and look. They have a way to pronounce the name of the game. So what does he say? I'm trying to find here. Easy answer for how to pronounce Balatro is by looking at the pronunciation of the Latin word, which is Balatro. So for reference, I've been pronouncing it Baltro. I never thought of that, but the reason I've never thought of that because there's another A. So it's Balatro. You wouldn't call it Baltro. You're dropping an entire A.
Yeah, unless someone's skipping the ace in the middle of the logo.
Yeah. Because I didn't realize the ace of spades card in the logo stood for an actual A. But what the
that's been a thing since before you and I even existed. Yeah, the letters for being substituted, symbols and things being substituted.
But it only shows up that way in the game. Every single place that you see it, even the text written on your Steam library, shows it spelled with an A.
Yeah,
not missing an A. You know, when you go to the store to buy it on PlayStation or Switch or Xbox, it's spelled out. Anyway, I look. I'm not the guy that should be talking to somebody else about how to pronounce things, so we can skip over that. But let's see. It turns out we're all right. A representative from PlayStack, the publisher of Baltro, said that there are 3 ways to look at this. The first is from the developer, who said he doesn't actually know either. Whatever makes people happy is fine with him. The second answer is the Latin pronunciation, which they've already discussed. The third way comes from Latin teachers. As long as you pronounce it with confidence, it's correct. So, yeah, there you go. Sorry, that was a little side story. That was not something in there about how to pronounce the game, but we've gone over those things before.
Look, in the end, if you know which game we're talking about, it's all good.
Yeah, man, Lethal Migraine's like giving me some names of some hockey players and stuff. It's like, no. It's going to be bad regardless. If I'm going to try and pronounce things, it's always going to be bad. So, yeah. Let's see what else in the news here. The specs for your PS5 Pro, which I guess is what we're going to call it. I'm not sure if that is actually what it's going to get called, but it seems like the leaked specifications for the PS5 Pro have been posted online. The specs show a boost to the PS5 Pro system memory and GPU. The machine's CPU remains identical to the base PS5, but now boasts a high CPU frequency mode, which is said to add a 10% speed increase, albeit with a slight 1% reduction to GPU performance. As with the recent updated PS5 Slim model, the Pro will also feature support for detachable disk drive and offer 1 terabytes of onboard SSD storage. The specs are, the memory is, it's a 20% increase in memory. And then the 10% increase in CPU if you do that frequency mode. The GPU, I don't think is changing anything. The estimated increase here is around a 45% increase. Oh, the GPU is also said to offer PlayStation Spectral's super resolution upscaling and anti-aliasing tech, custom machine learning architecture, and an AI accelerator. Of course, Sony hasn't announced the PS5 Pro yet, and so we don't know. I'm thinking it's going to be later this year. A lot of people are thinking it's going to be later this year, kind of to get in front of GTA 6's release. First of next year, although that is also kind of up in the air. Because the production for GTA 6 is apparently falling behind, according to a story published yesterday. Remote workers struggle with an unwanted return-to-office mandate from Rockstar Games. They learned from sources with knowledge of the game's development process that GTA 6 could miss its 2025 release window and slip into 2026. It's becoming more and more likely that the sequel might not land until late 2025. It's also possible that it could slip into 2026. In February, following numerous leaks, Bloomberg reported that Rockstar Games was mandating its employees to return to work 5 days a week in the office beginning in April. The short notice and drastic change caught many by surprise and has led to frustration from staff who feel like they are being pushed out after being hired remotely. In other words, they were hired and said, yeah, we're hiring you remotely, and now it's changing. Like, nope, now we need you to come in. And for people who take a position because it is a remote working position to then ask them to come in, and I don't know how soon they hired these people to then flip that on them. It does cause an issue, and I know that's one of those things where it's like, well, then they'll just get rid of them and hire somebody else. That's great, they could, except when you're this deep into a project, you usually don't want to do that. The people who are working that job probably don't want to lose that job, but they also took the remote position for a reason. I'm sure the first instinct is to think, oh, because they're lazy and they get to work from home. That's usually not the case. They take it because they don't have a means of transportation, or they don't have a way to get to the office, but they can work remotely. They could have circumstances of taking care of a loved one that they can't,
I was
leave.
about to say taking care of their an elderly parent or their child.
There's a
like that.
number of different reasons where working from home is beneficial to that employee, for whatever that may be. And when you advertise for a remote position, unless there's something in there when you did that saying, this could be a office position too, at any time we decide, be a little bit more clear and upfront. What were you going to say?
I was thinking about AAA titles, big budget titles and things like that. Is it really a big deal or a surprise to anybody that it's going to be pushed back or anything like that? Is it really that big of a deal nowadays?
No, I don't think so.
I would expect it at this point.
I'd have to go back and look and see if Rockstar is usually when Rockstar announces, not even announces, but whenever they throw a trailer up and talk about a release, they're usually, and I could be wrong on this, I felt like they were usually pretty confident in that because they usually don't throw that out there until they know they're going to hit that date.
But management's changed over the years, though.
I know, it has. You're right. This is not the Rockstar that released, what was the last Rockstar release? Red Dead 2?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's going back a ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we're right on that, well, they did do the remakes of GTA 3, 4, and 5, I think. No,
San
not
Andreas.
3, 4, and 5, but
San Andreas.
Yeah. They did do some remakes there, but I don't know that was Rockstar. It might have been an outside party of some sort.
I think it was last because it didn't look too well. The re-release.
At the moment, I'm told that Rockstar is still aiming for GTA 6 to arrive in spring of next year. While an early 2025 release is the goal, sources say they aren't sure if this will happen, and a fall 2025 launch seems more plausible and feasible. Meanwhile, delaying the game to 2026 is on the table as sort of a fallback plan or emergency option if needed. Rockstar Games historically waits until the last minute to make changes or alter plans, so the next trailer for the game, no word on when to expect that, might not reflect a delay as the company pushes forward on development.
My gut feeling on this is expect a delay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm reading more of this article here as I see it, but yeah. So we may. It's one of those things where it wouldn't be surprising if it was a delay for GTA 6. It's not like I cleared my schedule for 2025 to play that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the only aspect that'd be surprising is the length of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lethal Migraine goes in the chat room is talking about the PS5 Pro thing we were talking about. Says it's useless. CPU is the same as the base. It basically brings it up to parity with Series X. Just buy the base PS5 if you really need a PS5. I would agree with you. And in fact, if you... he goes on to say, if you don't have a PS5 already, you're best off waiting for a PS6, probably. I would say wait till the Pro hits and see if there is a price reduction in base PS5s. And then just jump in there. This increase, unless there's more that they haven't revealed or told us, seems kind of like a...
Doesn't sound like much, do it?
I know. It's like, you know...
Are you gonna kick a 30-frame game up to 60 frames with that setup?
It doesn't sound like it.
No, so...
I mean, it sounds like, yeah, you could, and it might get a little bit better performance, but not like much. And is it going to be... And see, we don't know the pricing on this, but is that percentage of a kick up going to be enough for you to up the percentage of how much you'd spend on it? I don't know about that. I think he's right on that. I think if you don't have one, wait until the Pro releases and see if there's a cut in price on the PS5s, basic PS5s.
Base PS5.
They're likely, I would say there likely won't be. I'm not sure, but we'll see. We'll see whenever that comes to pass. We don't know. Let's see what else in the news, because we're coming up on the top of the hour. Dragon's Dogma 2, man. I wish Josh was around, because I know he's playing it, or anybody else is playing it, because I really want to talk about the microtransactions. And I want to talk about if the microtransactions are bugging him as much as they're bugging everybody else. Dragon's Dogma 2 launched to massive critical acclaim. This thing has done very, very well critic-wise. It has done extremely well on Steam. As far as the amount of players and everything else, the thing just did wonderfully. However, the reviews on Steam sit at mostly negative. Right now they sit at mixed, I believe. They may show as mostly negative, but they were mixed when I looked at it this morning. Critical players are citing the game's poor performance on PC and the developer's use of the unpopular anti-cheat and anti-piracy software Denuvo. Yeah, sure, whatever. Denuvo. And some of the microtransactions that they've offered in there. If Dragon's Dogma 2 is drawing more ire than usual, it could be because of the way the items on sale interact with Dragon's Dogma 2's initially challenging and restrictive game design. It's important to note that all the items for sale can be obtained during normal gameplay. So in theory, they're only offering an additional convenience to players. Like you can buy it now, or you can, play the game and earn it that way, whatever it might be. If you play the game for long enough, you'll end up with most of these items in your inventory, such as the Rift Crystals that allow you to hire pawn party members at a higher level than your character to help out with tough fights. 500 Rift Crystals cost $1, while a pack of 2,500 costs $5. But many of the items for sale are rare, expensive, or difficult to obtain in the game. Wake Stones, for example, allow you to revive your character in the middle of combat, something you don't get to do normally. You die, you die. And are rare enough that players are advised to save them for use during only the most challenging encounters. But now, the temptation is there to just buy your way out of trouble for $1. 99 cents, you can buy one of these things, and you can keep buying them over and over and over again. The Art of Metamorphosis item, which allows you to change your character's appearance, can be bought from a vendor, but comes at a high price, 500 Rift Crystals. That's too much to afford early in the game, and sellers have limited inventory. Capcom is selling these for $1.99 in the store. I don't necessarily know that you want to change your character's appearance or that you worry about that. I've never been... I will sit there and work on a character's appearance forever. I will sit there and just put a ton of time into it. But once I've selected my guy and moved on, I rarely care to go back. Rarely do I care to go back. Unless I earn something new to equip to my character that maybe I need to do a character thing. I don't know.
Little tweak thing here and there. But in cases like that, like for instance, in the Dark Souls series, you can create your character and you go on. The only thing you're changing really is not your facial structure or anything like that.
It's just your equipment.
It's just your equipment, really.
Yeah.
But Elden Ring, there was an option. You can go to the mirror at the round table hold, and you can change little bits and pieces up there. You can edit your character there, but it didn't. I don't believe it cost you anything to do so. But in this case, I think the gist that people were saying, there were some items in there, like you said, that has beneficial purposes, but there are some items in there that used to be standard features in games like, I think a fast travel was an option in there that you could buy from the store.
Yeah.
Instead of having to go the long way, you can just fast travel. Now that's something you have to purchase. And I think...
right, we haven't gotten to that, but yes, fast travel is something that isn't in the game for the most part, but you can buy ways to... The port crystals is what they're called.
Yeah. Now, the other thing I wanted... This is Dragon
Dogma 2, yeah.
Was a fast travel option available in the first game?
I don't know.
If there was, I could definitely see the problem if that's the case.
Yeah. The availability of port crystals for $3 each has caused some players to accuse Capcom of selling fast travel, but this isn't strictly accurate. Fast travel is very restricted in the game by design. It wants to encourage your exploration of the open world and to make distances feel significant. Port crystals allow players to create new fast travel points within the game, which is useful because only a handful exist in major towns. But to use port crystals, you need fairy stones, which is another rare resource. Fairy stones are not available in microtransactions. So even if you buy these port crystals, if you don't have any fairy stones, you can't do anything with them.
Okay, I'd have to analyze how big this game is. We want you to appreciate we want you to appreciate the distance or whatever.
Yeah, there's no the thing is huge, and you really have to, when you want to go from one place to another, you got to walk the walk. You got to go. That's how it works. You've got to go from that point to there. There's no fast travel in it. And
we want you to struggle so that you'll break down and buy these things.
Might be what you think, right?
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
What have we talked about with grinds in games lately? Make it more and more tedious so that you'll eventually go to the store and buy the shortcut.
Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Regardless of the reasoning behind them, Dragon's Dogma 2's microtransactions are unlikely to tarnish its reputation for good. It's an engrossing game that seems likely to captivate even more players than the first game. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's been getting some negative reviews there, so that was the point. Anyway, we are at the top of the hour here, and we need to take a break. When we come back, there was... I didn't know that this was going on, but there was a state of Unreal. And by that I mean there's the Unreal Engine is what I'm talking about, that game developers use to make games. And there was a presentation called the State of Unreal, State of Unreal Engine. They did it last year, and they showed off, I say it was last year, it may have been 2 years ago, but they did it last year, and they just show off the tech of what Unreal 5 can do in your games. And we saw it with some kind of cavernous mountain thing last year where it looked highly detailed and amazing. But when they broke it down and showed you how the engine was working to put it together, it was all rather not complex. Very, very simple for developers to use and create and just make what looked like took lots of work, but only just took somebody dragging and placing something and then copying that. And then the AI of the, I say AI, whatever, the Unreal Engine itself would make it look unique and make it look just, it's amazing how the tech works. Anyway, that was going on, and we'll tell you some of the announcements there. One in particular that we want to look at. By the way, Unreal Engine 5, I also want to say, is being used in Hellblade 2 as well. Some of those facial capture animation things as well. So we talked about it where they captured her face, and then they could put any emotion they wanted to on that face, rather than having the actor give that emotion. Mm-hmm. If the actor was unavailable, and yet they still had that face, they could then change the emotion itself just because they have that capture there. And it was just solid and amazing work with what they could do. And then layer it with all kinds of different things they wanted to layer it with, whether it be the tattoos, it needs to be a muddy face, it needs to have scratches or blood or things like this that they could do. Just fantastic. Those, I really enjoy watching those. And if you ever have a chance, you should, and are interested in the tech that make video games, the Unreal Engine stuff, fascinating to watch. So anyway, we're going to get into that after we come back from this break. We got music we're going out to from the Expeditions game. It is a Mud Runner series game, which is basically you driving a vehicle that drives in all-terrain type stuff, and you just kind of figure your way from point A to point B, and it uses a lot of different physics. It's kind of cool, but anyway, this is music from that game. We'll be back in just a moment with more of In-Game Chat. And welcome back to In-Game Chats. Music from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. The track is called the Genova Emergent Battle. Anyway, welcome back into the show. I felt a sneeze coming on.
You'll hear from it later.
I know. It's right there. Man, I hate that. I wish it would go away.
Pollen, folks.
I know. It was there. It's not. So, State of Unreal took place this week. In fact, Lethal Migraine threw in the link to the YouTube in the chat room. See, I don't need to talk to anybody about how to pronounce anything. I barely get regular words out of my mouth. So yeah, I didn't even know we were getting a State of Unreal. Epic Games showed off the future of its powerful Unreal Engine earlier this week. A preview build of Unreal Engine 5.4 launched that same day ahead of its full release in late April. So what did we get from that? The big thing that we got, I will go into in just a moment. But it's the Unreal Engine, the UEFN is what it's being called. Which I guess is something you can launch within Fortnite? A cool-looking demo named Talisman showed off how it all looks and how UEFN can create realistic environments and people very different to Fortnite's stylized Battle Royale modes. A key advance here is that optimization of metahuman data can shrink its realistic character models down from almost 1 gig in size to around 60 megs. More than 80,000 UEFN experiences have now been published in Fortnite, which have been played by 130 million players. That's pretty impressive. The results, this has resulted in payouts totaling $320 million for creators over the past 12 months. Lego, Rocket Racing, and coming later in May, Fall Guy elements are also being added to UEFN, allowing creators to build their own Lego minigames, racing tracks, and Fall Guys levels and launch them within Fortnite. 800 film and TV projects have now used Unreal Engine, a 45% increase on the same figure from last year. Other upcoming UEFN additions include a first-person camera mode and a powerful-looking physics sandbox option, inspired by those destructible Lego levels that are in there. Significantly, Epic will develop future Battle Royale seasons using UEFN itself beginning in 2025. The big thing that we got was the Marvel game coming from Skydance Media, I believe is the name of them. It is called Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. And interestingly enough, this is a game that Amy Hennig is working on. And they showed it off. It is amazing. I'll just read this from Eurogamer here. The trailer itself is quite the spectacle. Something that Hennig had said was all possible thanks to the Unreal Engine. The game uses Epic's metahuman creator, and it's impressive. The detail on Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra's characters is really quite remarkable. Speaking following the trailer, Hennig herself called the detail in each character insane, and it really is. You really should not only just watch the trailer, but but continue watching this State of Unreal thing. They kick it off with that trailer. So it's the very first thing in the video. And then Amy comes out and talks about what they're working on or how they're building it, and then does this breakdown of... So she comes out and talks on stage about it. Then she pulls in two more people, a guy who is... working with the company, I guess, like a level designer or something like that, and then a camera operator comes out. And while I was watching this, and they brought the camera operator, I was like, what's the camera guy doing? Like, I thought maybe he was going to film around the people on stage, and like it would have them in there or some. I didn't really understand. But what he was actually doing was he was moving the camera inside the game level, so he could pause they pause the action in the game, but he could walk around with this camera, and it was the camera in game. It was sort of like a VR camera almost, where wherever he was moving the camera around, that's how you were seeing the camera in the game. And so he could get real close to certain objects and do these other things. And the other guy could change the different layering techniques of what they were looking at. And that was fantastic. Seeing some of the road, like they stopped at this thing where you could see the road. And I mean, I pointed out immediately, I was like, look how it goes from this, from cobblestone into this mud, like it's been worn down. And as they took away the layers, you were seeing all these different things. They just piled layers on top of it. And then they could increase the amount of whichever layer they wanted. So if they put a little snow dusting, they could increase that to make it thicker snow. That would then react to whatever object was in the level so if you had, a car going through it, it's going to lay tire tracks in that snow. Well, it would react to that. Given the different aspects of whatever you could do. There was a scene, from the trailer where, Captain America is chasing Black Panther, and they showed the scene in the trailer. It played out, and I was just like, okay, that's cool. Well, then they went back to that scene and said, okay, let's remove the masks. So they took Black Panther's mask off, and it was that character who was being acted by an actor. And the whole thing played out with his mask off, and it was fantastic. It was amazing. The performances you were getting from these actors and from this mocap thing, whatever it was, like she said, it was insane. The level of detail that you were getting on this, just fascinating and amazing to look at. Working with the metahuman process, so these are Amy's words. Working with the metahuman process, we have been able to honor our amazing actors' performances and faithfully transform them into equally powerful digital performances. You can check out the latest trailer. They show that below. As the game's narrative unfolds, players will assume the role of 4 central characters: a young Steve Rogers, Captain America, the grandfather of T'Challa of Black Panther, World War II era Black Panther, also Gabriel Jones, a U.S. soldier and a member of the Howling Commandos, and Nanali, a Wakandian spy embedded in occupied Paris. That was Marvel's words to talk about that. The release is expected to come in 2025, which was also kind of surprising. This seemed like we had gotten a title announcement, I don't know how long ago.
Yeah, a while back.
Yeah, it was a good while back, and I really hadn't thought anything of it. But to see this show up and then to see that we're going to get it in 2025, possibly, we know there's delays, it was very surprising. It says we got our first tease for the unnamed Marvel game back in 2022. And following its announcement, so announced in 2021, a tease in 2022, this thing in 2024, and I guess we'll get more stuff throughout the year, and then, of course, we'll get the game in 2025. It was just amazing to look at. It really, really was. She said it was, Lethal Migrant says that on stage, she said it was not some CG trailer they put together for this, that it was pulled from in-game. The last time that I spoke to Amy, in any capacity, was when I had my heart attack. I had posted on my personal Facebook page about the heart attack, and she had responded to it, just, get better, get well, that sort of thing. That was really the last interaction that she and I had, I believe. And so I went into my phone, and I found her number, and I just sent her a text to congratulate her. I didn't know if the number was still the same. Who knows on those things?
Yeah.
But I just sent her a quick little text. The last time we had spoken was September of 2016 through text. I just hadn't said anything to her. And I just congratulated on her game that she announced in the presentation. And I told her I was blown away by it, and I was really happy to see her, and she responded back, and we talked a little bit, and then just some stuff about her personal life, but also she said we're doing some crazy stuff with our cinematic presentation cameras during gameplay. That was because I had mentioned that. I said I was surprised when the dude came out with the camera. I thought it was amazing. She says, I don't think people believe it's running real time in engine, but it is. We're definitely moving the needle on this one. And at least 25% of the footage in the trailer is actual gameplay, not cinematics. But people don't realize that either. So at least 25% of what you saw was actual gameplay. She says we're doing some crazy stuff with all this. She says we knew we needed to utilize the virtual camera, that guy that comes out on stage and moves that. She says we needed to utilize the virtual camera to prove that it was real time. It's the same VCam rig that we use on the mocap stage. And so they use that, which is, again, pretty amazing that if they've built the level, they can use that camera to put those people in there in real time. It's been a long time since I've been on a mocap stage. The last time I was in a mocap studio was for Uncharted 3's development. So you got to go back further than when Uncharted 3 released. Go back before even that. Then that'll tell you the last time that I was on a mocap stage to see how they were doing things. But it is amazing. Anyway, I congratulated her on that. Gave her my gushed over just the performances of the actors doing the mocaps and stuff like that. Just amazing. So really looking forward to seeing more of this. And I told her, I said we'd try to get her back on the show and have her on to talk about it. I would really, really love to. Just to talk about her creative process. I know that currently, and I don't know what she can say, but I know that she's been attempting to get a game made now for quite a long time. I think she's had at least 2 cancellations on her after getting into development, Star Wars games being one of them. And I believe she's working, so this is a Marvel game she's working on, but I think she's also now working on a Star Wars game again. I think she's got that going on. She did some writing for that game that came out called Forspoken, I think, which didn't do very well. And I don't know how much of what she had written actually made it into that game, but she put some effort into writing for that game. She is not the game director on this. She is, I think she's writing it, and I don't know what other capacity she is involved in it, but the game has an actual director. I don't know who it is, but it's not her unless she's got a co-director mark on it or something. Star Wars 1313. That's the game that got canceled and tons of gamers wanted it. Yeah. Well, 1313 was one of those, and I think there was another Star Wars game that she was actually working on and that also got canceled. Back when she was working over at, was it Volition or no, not Volition. Visceral? Was it Visceral Games, maybe?
Impossible.
God, I don't know. That's why I really would like to have her on. Just to talk about everything she's been doing since. The last time, I guess I say the last time we talked to her, but the last time that I think she was still with Naughty Dog the last time we talked to her.
Yeah.
Or had her on for anything. So I would really like to get her back on. I would really, really enjoy that. So anyway, that was shown there for the Unreal Engine stuff. Are you looking something up at the moment?
I was looking up.
You looked like you were. That's why I was asking.
It was Visceral.
Okay, yeah. I thought it was Visceral Games that she worked for.
Yeah.
I love Amy. I miss Amy. I haven't talked to her in a long time, and I really hope that I don't go this long without talking to her again. She's a fantastic friend, not only to this show, but to me as well. Just to give you some background on that for those of you, because it's been a while since we've talked about her. Uncharted 2 is how I met her, and I was playing the game, and I looked her up on Facebook. Uncharted 2 came out what year? Can you look that up for me real quick?
Uncharted 2?
Yeah. What year did that release?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to look up something else.
October of 2009.
October 20th of 2009.
October 13th of 2009.
Okay, well, 2009 is really just what I wanted to see.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to see here when Facebook kind of launched. It was created in 2004. Facebook was created in 2004. Uncharted 2 comes out in 2009. So you're looking at 5 years. It still really Facebook hadn't been what it is now, or what it actually became. So I looked her up on Facebook and I started chatting with her while I was playing the game. And to my surprise, she started just having a conversation with me and was talking about the game. essentially what I got was a director's commentary
Yep.
as I played the game. Because I would tell her at what part I'm at, and she would give me some trivia behind, oh, that was a very difficult section we had to do. I won't spoil it for you, but coming up, when you get to that part, let me know, and then I'll tell you more about it. And she would just give me some more information as I would play through this thing. It was fantastic, and we stayed there. Talking about that, of course, I was a big fan of hers from her Legacy of Kain series, which is where she started. And I enjoyed that. And so all the way through Uncharted, that was Uncharted 2, then Uncharted 3, where I got to go on set and all this other stuff. And then after that, she, left Naughty Dog to work on other games and that sort of thing. So, anyway, that's where it all started from 2009, you said? Mm-hmm. Jesus. Anyway. So yeah, she's fantastic. And hopefully we're going to get her on the show. Anyway, let's jump to the phones because somebody has been waiting patiently. I'm going to guess that it's Chris, but I've been wrong before. Hi, you're on In-Game Chat. Who's this?
No, you're wrong. It's not Chris at all.
No, man. Well, I hope Chris calls in.
How y'all doing, Scott?
We're doing pretty good, buddy. How are you?
Not too bad. I got off of playing Final Fantasy for quite a while. I've been looking into wanting to get Wizard with a Gun, and I saw that they had one of the better, one of the deluxe, digital deluxe editions that were cheaper than the standard edition.
Yep.
So I've got hooked on that.
Oh, wonderful. You playing on PS5, I guess, or Switch, or what?
Yeah, PlayStation.
Okay, yeah. Wizard with a Gun. I'm curious. That's kind of new, right?
Yeah, it's pretty new. Probably 3 or 4 months, I'm thinking.
Yeah. I mean, it's not recent, but it's like late last year it released, I think. So.
Yeah.
October of 2023.
October, yeah, okay, maybe. But yeah. So how is that?
Oh, I've been loving it.
Is it what do you have to do? What is it?
It's like a rogue survival.
Yeah.
More like a survival where you have to, everything's locked behind doors and you have to slowly progress and build up your stashes of different items and research different things, with other items that you get. It's a slow progression, but it's one of the type of games that I love to play.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Kind of like a survival. It's got a lot of survival aspects to it.
Is it now? You're looking this up, RJ. I don't know.
Yeah.
Was it? Is it the guy that made? Was it Way of the Gungeon?
Maybe. This is the developers Galvanic Games, publishers Devolver Digital.
It's Devolver, yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to see if it was the Enter the Gungeon. I mean, not Way of the Gungeon, but Enter the Gungeon. If I'm probably butchering that title, I don't know. But I thought he made Wizard with a Gun or something like that. But it's one of those type of games that are really, really, they're kind of easy to pick up and understand what you've got to do.
Yeah.
But really tough to sort of. It's one of those things that hooks you into, okay, I didn't win that time. Let me try again.
Easy to learn, hard to master.
Yeah, let me try again. Let me try it. Let me go again.
Yep.
One of those situations where it's like just one more turn type of thing. Kind of like Baltro. Kind of like that card game where it's like, just one more hand. One more hand. Let's see if I can do it. One more hand.
I'm still trying to figure out how to pronounce that one.
No, we know how to pronounce it. The fact that the guy called it Baltro because he didn't think the A.
No, how to pronounce it? No, I know how I'm going to pronounce it.
Yeah, so. I know.
Yeah, there's one that I remember that came out on the Sega CD years ago, and it was a role-playing game. Of course, RJ may remember this one. It's called Vay, V-A-Y. But no, that's the way I always pronounced it, but it's actually pronounced Vi. Because that's what
Vice,
the guy that's speaking in the intro and everything there. That's the way it was pronounced and within one of the cinematics in the game when you first booted it up. And that, okay, I'll never do that, but I want to just keep calling it that. I mean, it's, oh well.
Yeah.
Oh, Enter the Gungeon was from Dodge Roll.
Okay.
Yeah, so, no.
Has he made any other games? Enter the Gungeon? I thought he was working on something new. Nothing? You don't say anything?
Exit the Gungeon. That's a small spin-off.
Okay, that's fine.
That's all I've seen.
That's cool. I didn't know if he had made something new. I wasn't sure. So, all right, you took a break from Final Fantasy. You're playing Wizard with a Gun, and how much further did you get into Final Fantasy?
I'm still not much further than what I was. Basically, just roaming around and exploring, and I haven't even got out of that other city in that other area I was at. But anyway, speaking of other things, have you seen the new trailer for the new Beetlejuice?
The really quick teaser for that thing? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Hopefully they did a good job on that one.
Yeah, it was very fast, very short. Very short trailer for that film, which is September, I think. Yeah. Early September.
I think it's the 5th.
Yeah, early September release on that one. So
I would think Halloween would be better for that one.
It kind of leads into it, I suppose. Given the way movies stay in theaters now, which is not very long, you'll probably see it on digital in Halloween around that time. Although I never considered Beetlejuice as far as something that would. I mean, I understand the
ghost specters after.
Right, I understand the content.
So
fits for a Halloween vibe, but it's never felt like a Halloween film. It's never felt kind of like that to me. I guess I don't know. I mean, is Edward Scissorhands a Christmas movie? It's got Christmas aspects to it. A very Christmassy type soundtrack, it's got snow. Christmas does take place in the movie, but not really. I don't consider it like kind of a Christmas film.
It sounds like that Die Hard conversation.
Maybe,
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I've never thought of Beetlejuice as a Halloween movie. I mean, it's got a little bit of everything else in there, but I like. I'd say it's.
Is Ghostbusters a Halloween film?
Nope.
I'm not challenging you, by the way, on your thing. I'm just like throwing that out there.
Well, I know, but a lot of the old classic films like that, like the Ghostbusters and everything, I never thought of those as Halloween films,
Right, yeah.
Comedies and just a little bit of all these things rolled into one.
Yeah. Well, Chris, it's good to hear from you, buddy. We got to take a break, but thanks for calling in, man. And waiting on hold, I appreciate that, by the way.
All right, see y'all later, then.
Take care, buddy.
Take care now.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
We got to run, and when we come back, we will do our last little segment here. This comes from a game that I am not sure. Well, I'm sure the game is pronounced Euphoria, but it's spelled Uforia.
Close enough.
Well, I've got to figure that it has to tie into something. The fact that they use the four, F-O-U-R. I don't look up these things. I just see a title and I go and get songs. But it's called Euphoria the Saga 2. Euphoria the Saga 2, like it's a sequel. Anyway, this is the Overworld track. We'll be back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. Welcome back into In-Game Chat. This is music from Cats of Calico. The track on this is called Evening's Quilts and Cats of Calico. I think it's one of those kind of relaxing type games. There's a lot of little Zen games like that. Unpacking is one of those. A Little to the Left. Cats of Calico. Stardew Valley, I would even say, is just one of those relaxed games. Animal Crossing, same thing. It's one of those kind of like, I'm just going to sit, relax, play this little game here.
Yeah, it depends on the player.
It depends.
What do you consider relaxing?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Zen games, I guess, is what I would call them.
Yeah. If you find something like Ikaruga relaxing or something else.
I mean, there are some games that you wouldn't think those would be like a relaxing type of thing, but they can be.
Or the type of game where you just turn your brain off and just play.
Like Burnout used to be that for me.
Yeah.
Like I just want to go into crash mode or whatever, like the old crash mode, not the crash mode from Paradise, but old crash mode or any of that. Burnout was nice just to watch some car destruction. That was it. Yeah.
Let's see, Quilts and Cats of Calico.
Yeah.
A wholesome, award-winning complex puzzle game for 1 to 4 players. Meet adorable cats and sew the coziest quilts. Compete with other players in multiplayer mode, play solo, or delve into the story of a quilter sewing their way through the city of cats.
Yeah. Like the Migraine says, when I want a relaxing game, I go to Minecraft and just dig. It's fantastic. That's something. I haven't been in Minecraft in forever. But yeah, I would go to Minecraft and I would turn off the parts of the game where the survival aspect of the game, and then I would just build, and that was fun to do. It's city builders are a nice relaxing game for me.
Yeah,
whenever I can play those.
Like we said, it depends on the player.
Yeah,
what's relaxing to one isn't to another. So
Spiritfarer is another good one, and I've got that on my deck. I need to put my deck up because we're almost done. What else did we want to go over on this? Just looking at some of my stuff. That I had marked for news stuffs. Monopoly Go, ye old Monopoly Go. They spent almost $500 million on marketing. That is more than the developer budget of Spider-Man 2. The development of Insomniac's Spider-Man 2 was less than how much Monopoly Go, a phone app game, $500 million. That's more than the budget on like Last of Us Part 2. Which I think was around 300 or 400 million. I can't remember, but it is an amazing thing. A game like that has done what it's done. It is just making, and it's not even a year old. It turns a year old sometime next month.
So in the end, it was worth it.
For them, it was. Now it's 7 years of development before they released it. So they put 7 years into this thing, and it's pretty good. We got a new season coming up in about 5 days, and I'm still sitting at like 200K dice or whatever. So I'm okay. I'm good. We talked about the Stardew Valley, and there's a ton of updates in that. I would tell you all of them, but I mean it's just a massive amount. If I can hit some of the highs of it, what do they have? They have a big chest now, which doubles the size of regular chests. They have a dehydrator now, which turns fruit into dried fruit and mushroom into dried mushrooms. They have a mushroom log, which produces mushrooms and interacts with nearby trees. A bait maker, which produces fish-specific baits. There's a lot. 280 new pieces of furniture, 25 new hats, different colored fireworks, 41 new floor styles, 24 new wallpaper styles. More secret items. I don't know. Just a ton. A new resource type called moss, which apparently they didn't have before. God, there's a bunch.
So this is in-game stuff, not like some.
This is not DLC
pack.
or anything like that. No, Stardew Valley. It's just an update, and it was a big one. Big update. Destiny 2. Something you don't hear me talk about anymore because I'm still banned. But they have added something that I guess a lot of fans wanted. I don't ever remember really kind of wanting this. I'm sure at some point I said I wanted it. But given the fact that they never put it in, I just thought, it's never coming. I still want them to bring back the Sparrow racing, the vehicle racing. Not that it matters now, but they're putting in a horde mode, a legit, permanent horde mode into the game. So, great. Although their game Marathon, the reboot that's coming out, that they have shown off at Sony State of Play and stuff like that, that got a new director because they are changing some leadership places over there in Bungie. I've heard some things about Bungie as far as management and leadership and the upper folks at Bungie, there's been some talk, and I'm not trying to spread any rumors. I've just heard things going on over there that sound like things aren't doing too great. And it could be coming down from the head of Sony because Sony owns them now. And Sony could be saying, well, you need to start doing this or you need to start doing that. So far, Sony has been hands off with them. But there is a clause in their contract or something like that where if a certain amount of money, I guess, is not made by them, then Sony takes over the creative and Sony takes over. Like, okay, we're stepping in at some point. You know, right now you have the freedom to do what you want to do, and we are hands off and we are not interfering whatsoever. We're going to publish your game, but we're not going to get in the way of what you want to do. But if you fail in, and I don't exactly know if it is a certain number that they need to reach, or if it is just one of those situations where they made it vague so that Sony could at any point say, yeah, you did good, but you didn't do what we wanted you to do, and so we're taking over.
Yeah, the description you were giving me makes me think the goalpost got moved on them or something happened, or something vague, something nebulous, so they could say at any point in time, yeah, we're coming in. We're stepping in.
Yeah.
Not surprising. I mean, they own it now.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think they're going to find that reason to do that, whether it be from the next expansion from Destiny, the final expansion from Destiny, whether it be that or maybe when Marathon releases, that's when they do it. I don't know. Yeah. I think it'll be sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
is my guess.
I don't know, because I think I deleted it.
What, Destiny? Mm-hmm. That's fine. I did. I deleted it. I mean, I can't play it anymore.
Yeah.
I got rid of it. The Game Developer Choice Awards, the GDC Awards. We can go over the winners on that. What did we have? Let me see what I can tell you. Best audio went to Hi-Fi Rush. That works.
Bits.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's a whole game about audio. Mm-hmm. Best debut. This was interesting. So, best debut, your nominees were Cocoon, which I think is fantastic. It's an amazing, amazing game. Dave the Diver, I played that. Not bad. Dredge, I have it. I haven't played it. Viewfinder was that one where you take a picture and then it becomes the level itself or something. Mm-hmm. That's a wonderful looking puzzle game. But the winner is a game that I have played that I had no idea was not only nominated for this, but would actually win it among all of these others that they put in there. But it's Venba. Which Venba is this... oh man, I want to say it's
the cooking thing.
It's I want to say it's India, Pakistan. I can't remember the nationality of the family, but I want to say they live in Canada. They've come over from overseas there, and they're living in Canada. And you make these dishes that are a part of their family history, and a story is told, and it's a great story. But in the meantime, India. Yeah. In the meantime, you're making all these different dishes, and it's fantastic. And I was pleased to see that they won. Best design went to Baldur's Gate 3. You're probably going to be hearing that game a lot. Innovation Award went to Tears of the Kingdom. What else do we have? Narrative went to Baldur's Gate 3. Social Impact Award, also Venba. And a winner on that one. Baldur's Gate 3 was nominated. Assassin's Creed Mirage was nominated for social impact. That's weird. Best technology went to Tears of the Kingdom. Best visual art went to Alan Wake 2. Game of the Year, the nominees were Tears of the Kingdom, Spider-Man 2, Dredge, which I need to play, Dave the Diver, Cocoon, which I've beaten, and that is a game you definitely should play. It's amazing. Just the creativity of the different areas that you're in. It's just really, really something. And the winner was Baldur's Gate 3. So, kind of knew that was going to be coming, right? Let's see. What else did we have? By the way, speaking of Baldur's Gate 3, Larian Studios have said that they are done with Baldur's Gate. They will not be making a Baldur's Gate 4. They are not going to make DLC for Baldur's Gate 3. They are done. They're moving on to something else. So I was fine with that. That's perfectly fine. You've knocked this one out of the park with 3. Go do something else.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Perfectly fine with that. We were talking about the Video Game Hall of Fame, and GameStop posted an article about every game that is in the Video Game Hall of Fame. We were talking about the nominees for this year were Tony Hawk, Ultima, Guitar Hero, Asteroid SimCity, and more there as well. Let's see. Tetris is in there. Doom is in there. Pac-Man, of course.
Yeah.
Pong is in there. Super Mario Brothers. World of Warcraft. GTA 3. Legend of Zelda. The Oregon Trail. That's in, yeah, that's in there as well.
The only reason I know of that word is
because of that.
Trail, yeah.
The Sims hanging out in there. Sonic the Hedgehog. Space Invaders. Donkey Kong. Halo. Pokemon Red and Green. Street Fighter 2. Final Fantasy 7. John Madden Football. Space War, which was a game that came out in 1962. Is it considered designed during a space race? Space War was created by Steve Russell at MIT. It was revolutionary at the time and helped lay the groundwork for pretty much every game to follow. Tomb Raider is in there. Colossal Cave Adventure, which came out in 1976. Microsoft Solitaire, which came out in 1990, is in the Game Hall of Fame.
Every office in America.
Mortal Kombat, Mario Kart, Bejeweled, Centipede, King's Quest, Minecraft, Animal Crossing, Microsoft Flight Simulator, StarCraft, Carmen Sandiego, Dance Dance Revolution, Miss Pac-Man, Civilization, Barbie Fashion Designer.
Yeah, we talked about that one.
Computer Space, a game that came out in 71 as well. The Last of Us, Wii Sports. Oh, and that's it. Those are the games that are in the Video Game Hall of Fame.
I look at Bejeweled and I think about columns.
I know.
Yeah. Match 3, same thing, but
I probably played more columns than I ever played Bejeweled.
I certainly did.
So,
I mean, when it got to the point where
was Bejeweled first or was columns first?
Let's see. Bejeweled was
which one are you?
2001.
Well, let me look up columns.
Okay, because I'm looking at the post in the show notes. But yeah, it says Bejeweled was released in 2001.
Columns was released in 1989. Is Bejeweled real? Did Bejeweled?
Flash game.
Yeah.
So
was that really? 2001. I'm surprised Columns didn't be like, hey, it's our game. What are you doing? Yeah. Okay, well then that's why I played more Columns than I have Bejeweled because it's been out longer.
Yeah.
I had more time with it. Leisure Suit Larry, by the way, Bama Bryan is not in there.
Sacrilege.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, I got to the point where the jewels were falling faster than holding the down button. Mm-hmm. It would actually get to a point where if you held the down button, the jewels would go slower than default. That's how far ahead you could get in there if you were quick enough.
Wow.
Good times. I might load that thing up just for nostalgia.
Yeah, I know. You know what? I could on my deck because I have it on there.
Yeah.
I have Columns on there.
Got Columns on there.
I'm almost positive I do. I got 4 minutes. Let me see if I can find Columns real quick. I'm sorry. It's just one of those things.
No, look, nostalgia bug hits you. You gotta answer it.
Yeah. I want to see.
In my case, I'd have to blow the dust off the Genesis and hook that thing up.
Let's see. Genesis.
Start playing it again.
Would I just type Columns maybe? Let's see.
You should.
There's Cogs.
Okay.
Columns. Let's see. In library. I have 2 different games, although that does not look like Columns that I'm familiar with.
Yeah, there were a whole bunch of them. I remember some Columns 3 or something going on, but no, I'm talking about the original columns.
I know. What is this? I'm loading it up now just to see what it is.
You know what? Wait a minute. It might be on that Sega collection I got on
Oh,
PS3.
there it is. There you go.
Yep, there you go. 1990.
Hey, columns. And the start button, which is... There it is.
There's that sound.
How does it work? Okay. How do you start?
Maybe you didn't set it up to that.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
That's it. That's someone's ringtone right now. Don't forget we got a show, though.
What? Yeah, I know. We got like 3 minutes. I'll just play this. Now I gotta figure out how to leave.
Is that power button?
Yeah, I've got it. Exit
Good.
game. There we go. Out of there. That was fun. Anyway.
Okay, there it is. Sega Genesis collection on PS4. Yeah, Columns is in there. Columns 3.
I have columns.
Columns and Columns 3.
Why not 2?
I never.
Did they skip it?
They may have, because I don't recall a Columns 2.
Listen, Batman Brian, Columns music will be in next week's show. After hearing that, Columns music will be in next week's
That's
show.
going to be someone's ringtone next week.
Oh, please. Yeah. I'm putting it back in there. But yeah, it was Tetris in there. Tetris was in the Hall of Fame. Yes, it was. And I believe I've got it on there on my Steam Deck as well. But, yeah.
There was a Columns 2. Columns 2, The Voyage Through Time.
Okay.
1990.
It's just what I noticed in my list.
Yeah.
I had Columns and I had Columns 3, but I don't think I had Columns 2 in
No.
there. Mm-mm. I may, and I should look, but I was really just trying to find Columns. So I think we hit all the news that we needed to. I think we're actually good with everything here. So fantastic. I want to thank everybody in the chat room there. Actually, I don't have a lot of time to do that. We have got to go. So, thank you so much, everybody, for watching the show and for just putting up with me for playing a video game on the air. Here is music from Dark Forces, which recently got a remaster. I did not find music from the remaster, but this is from the original Dark Forces. This is the theme song for Kyle Katarn. We'll see you next Saturday.